Hmm. Hello and welcome back to Excel at Excel. In this episode, we are going to look at some shortcuts. So this is probably going to be a pretty quick tutorial, but I just thought that it would be good to get some of these out of the way because they are pretty useful. And I just thought it would be kind of helpful. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take our grocery shopping list here. We're just going to add some random rows of highlight just for the heck of it here, and I'll show you why in a second. So let's say I go through and I'm highlighting these, and then I want to do every other row here, and then I go, oops, accidentally get this row here. Now this is one I've already talked about, and I said it was a very important one to remember, but I thought I would bring it up again. That would be Control Z, which will undo the last thing that you've done. And you can actually keep doing this backwards until you have them all unhighlighted, or you can keep going back through whatever you've just done, step by step by step. And I did show you and tell you that, I don't particularly use the redo too often, but in this particular case it is handy because let's say I went too far and I unhighlighted them all. Oh shoot, I didn't want to do that. Now I can hit Control Y and get those done again. Now we don't want muffins, so I hit Control Z, and there we go. So that's the first thing that I would like to show you. Another thing is, and this is really, really handy and something I kind of recently found out about, honestly. If you hold the Alt key, or just press the Alt key actually, you'll see all of these letters and numbers that come up, which is very helpful. Now you'll see Alt 2 apparently saves, but another thing you can do would just be to use Control S. Now you can't see what I'm actually doing here, but I'm pressing Control and hitting S to save. And apparently you can also do Alt 2, and that will also save. But what's great about pressing that Alt key, as you see, you have all of these numbers and letters that come up, and they correspond to these different tabs. And what's great is, let's say I want to use, well here, let's take this row here, and let's say I want to use the Format Painter like I showed you before, where you click the Format Painter and then select the cells you want to format. Well, you don't have to do all that. You can hit Alt, press H for home, because as you see here, if I zoom in a little, home is labeled H. So now if I hit H for home, and then Format Painter is right here. So if I type FP, like it says there, see FP. If it were just one letter, you would just type the one letter. But if they have multiple letters like some of these do, you would need to type both of them. So in this case, we're going to do FP. And now we have our Format Painter selected. We can just click and drag what we want to format. Now, it may seem like that's a lot more work, but check this out. If I go Alt-H, FP, you see how much quicker that is than clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking? The combination of keyboard and mouse is always faster than just the mouse or just the keyboard. A lot of times the keyboard is the fastest way to go, but really the most optimal situation is to use both in conjunction with one another, and there comes a point where it's more efficient to use both than it is to use either one or the other. So typically that's what I do, is I try to use as much of the keyboard shortcuts as I can, or as many of the keyboard shortcuts as I can, but there are just times when the mouse is honestly faster. Now, you can do all kinds of other things too, like if I wanted to bold this right here, I could do Control B. If I want to make it underlined, Control U. Or if I want to make it italicized, Control I, and things like that. But again, you always have this option to press Alt and then select any of these options here, such as Home, and I can do borders, for example. And then look at this. The menu pops up, and I have all these border options. All I have to do is type in one of these letters, and it makes the change, just like that. So I don't really want to do that here, but it's nice to have that option. And you can jump to, like right now we've been working entirely on the home page, but you can use any of these tabs the same way. So instead of Alt and then H, you can do Alt, I don't know, let's go to data. And look at all these options you have. You can refresh, you can get data, you can sort like I showed you before, you can filter, you can just do all kinds of things without even having to use your mouse, which is really, really handy. So I highly recommend exploring your options and playing with the different features and functions, all from your keyboard. That's going to do it for now, and I hope you found this tutorial useful. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thanks for tuning in.